This week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall. Get this. This fight was a very emotionally fought fight, okay? I think that Josh Taylor came in with bad intentions. I think he came in with the spirit of the weigh-in because, they got at each other. We had a mini eruption. They were at each other's necks, okay? And I think Josh Taylor and, to be fair, Catterall came in expecting one dirty, murky fight. And that's exactly what we received, along with Catterall being difficult to hit, Catterall being more accurate, Catterall landing the cleaner shots, round after round after round, getting off with the jab, the straight left, and I think that fight was like that. Josh Taylor had no answer for it. He tried to come in with his own tactics. It was more like, hey, I'm going to hit and hurt, and it's crazy because it's like, Josh Taylor really disappointed me tonight. He did. He disappointed me because he had no answer from another southpaw with the shoulder roll. Okay. And Catterall showed that he's slick. He established the jab, which Josh Taylor never did. Josh Taylor tried to come in with the left uppercut, which that didn't really work for him. Catterall started working the body. He did something to Josh Taylor. He busted his fucking face open, first of all. You know what I mean? So his right eye was gassed. It was jacked up, okay? But no, he definitely dropped Josh Taylor for the first time. Anybody ever done that? He done that. Josh Taylor had rubbery legs. After that, Jack got a point deduction from the referee. Now, the referee himself, speaking of him a bit, the referee should have not been over officiated like he was, because he kind of reminded me of a coach in there. He would always, he would always pull them together. He did that 2 or 3 times. I'm like, look, at what point are you just going to start deducting points because you just talking to both of these guys like, hey, you guys got to stop doing. You don't do that in a boxing because, these are professionals. So if they're professional, that means you need to do the professional thing and start deducting some damn points. All right, counterpunch. But he didn't start doing that until like the 10th round when Catterall put his head down on Josh Taylor's back of his neck. His hand down on the back of his neck, and he took a point then. I was cool with that because that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary roughness. And, Catterall was just doing that, to get an edge and just to be a jerk. You know what I mean? So I get that. However, next round later, bell rings in the 11th round. Josh Taylor fucking takes a shot at fucking Catterall. So Catterall, referee sees that, takes a point from him. So not only does Josh Taylor have a point deducted, he has also a knockdown. So that's 2 points off. Then I think he lost 8 rounds of those 12. Right? I can't really more than that. Really 9 rounds of 3. I couldn't give Josh Taylor rounds. Okay? It was just like because if you didn't reform or adjust to a guy's style, and you couldn't stop that guy from doing something that he's doing all night, if you couldn't stop that, how are you winning the fight? Bars. Okay? Now, 12th round, he lost that shit too. Well, fight kept going back and forth. People in the ring waiting. Always a bad sign, mind you. Always. Because, see, if they're waiting that long, it doesn't take you that long to add up what the fuck you've been doing if you've been doing it throughout the whole fucking fight, people. If you have been adding up who won the whole fight, it should not take you no more than 3 minutes, if that, to hand over your scorecard and to hand it to the officials so the officials can hand it to the ref and the ref can call out who the winner is. So it was already a bad sign when people kind of just standing around wondering who won. And if these scorecards came out, people, let me tell you the truth. 114, 111 was for Taylor. What the fuck? And I can't even really, they were close, okay? Now, just because they were close don't mean they weren't fixed. All right, see, the narrative is, oh, it was a close fight. And, and a lot of times people don't really get outraged until the scorecards are lopsided. And what that tells me, whoever judged these fights weren't really looking at what the fuck went on in these fights. They were paid to be there. That's why they were there. Okay? Catterall ended up losing a decision, a split decision loss to Josh Taylor. And tell me what fucking rounds he won again, I couldn't tell you. But let him tell you, oh, I think I won the fight. No, you didn't, motherfucker. You didn't win this fight. Catterall left in disgust. He flipped the fucking, the whole venue off, which is understandable. You know what I mean? Because, he didn't want to hear that shit. Because he knew what he did. He knew what he came to do. He executed his game plan. He had effective aggressiveness. He landed the jab when he wanted, the overhand left when he wanted, body punches when he wanted, and he dropped the man, and the man got a point deducted from him. So how in the hell did this guy lose? I don't know. I don't know how it is. But of course, this is the sport that I love, that I hate so much. Okay? So, according to Michael Benson, the WBO have made Josh Taylor the WBO super champion at that super lightweight, and he is undisputed and holds the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF titles. That means he could move up to fight Terrence Crawford at 147 if he wants to. All he has to do is say the word. Let me tell you something. That was the reason why Catterall lost. That was my counterpunch. He lost because Terrence Crawford is the next big fight that could be made for him, and they want to make sure that next big fight is made for him. That's it. Now, when he gets to Crawford, that's a whole nother beast, and that's another decision and another discussion for another time. But whenever you're worried about who you think will win, you're worried about the money. Okay? And this was all that was. Catterall was a fucking pawn, poor guy. I know he won. I know he fought his heart out. Everybody saw that fight, seen that he won with no fucking discussion, no controversy, none of that. He was just robbed, people. That is it. Cut and dry. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Josh Taylor decisioning Jack Catterall on a very controversial decision. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.